where we are is on what we believe to be the line of the Roman road that runs from Ilkley through to Aldborough. How do we know that? Well, various bits of the road have been found and the route is fairly well known further over towards Ilkley, and it was believed that the road came as far as Hampswaite. Any of you from Hampswaite?
Yes.
That's some Hampswaite people on the earlier walk, yep. Where the road crossed the river by the church, where there's a bridge, and there was also a ford there apparently, and it then went north along a packhorse lane and presumably joined up with Hollybank Lane and went off towards Ripley. That was the generally believed idea. The problem with that is it didn't agree with Roman road alignments, because although in school you're told Roman roads are always straight, in Britain the roads weren't necessarily straight. If they had to go around a bit of a curve to get somewhere, or if you had to have a diversion from the straight line to find the best crossing over the river or something, the roads would deviate. But what is generally believed to be the idea is that the roads followed long range alignments. So if you draw a line 40 or 50 miles long along a map, the road will follow that line as best it can. So if you take the example of Deer Street, draw a line down from Catterick, interestingly it doesn't go to York, it goes to Tadcaster. So you've got to ask the question why, and there's various theories as to what the answer might be. So this all started because Mike, who's up on the top trench at the moment, is making a big study of Roman roads in the north of Britain, and he was looking at road alignments and he started drawing lines on maps, and the alignment of the Ilkley Road comes straight up through this wood. So why should the road suddenly go shooting off at Hampswaite? You know, what's going on? Now, how many of you are familiar with LiDAR?
Yeah.
Who doesn't know what LiDAR is? Okay. It's a photographic technique. You fly an aeroplane over and you fire lasers at the ground, and then they use computer technology to strip away all the buildings and undergrowth and trees that are on the surface. So when you stripped it all away, you finish up with the actual underlying landscape. And Mike obtained a LiDAR image for this wood. So you don't see the trees, all the trees have disappeared. And what Mike did see, dead on the alignment, he saw a cutting, a scar if you like, going up the side of the hill. So then he brought Georgie's dog for a walk and had a good look at the woods and decided there might be something going up this cutting, and that's where it all started. Okay, now we're stood by this gully feature. Now I'm not going to make any claims for that. It could just be where the rain's running off the hillside or whatever. All I'll say is that if you follow that line, it goes straight up the hillside where we put our trenches and where we found the road. Also, Mike had already noticed when he came and did his original walk through the woods that you can have a look in a minute, but in the banking there are two rocky outcrops, and between them there's a series of stones set at an angle, and they appear to have been set into the opposite bank of the stream. Now if you're a Roman and you've got to cross that stream, if you've already got some natural rocky outcrops to build you the foundation for your bridge abutments, you're not going to put them anywhere else, are you? So it makes a nice story anyway that the Roman bridge was probably just here. And we found our bridge a far sight quicker than they found the bridge at all, but that's another story. So we think that the road comes from Hamswaite, crosses straight over this floodplain and carries on up the hill in the general direction of Ripley. That's what we worked out, okay? Just for completeness, that bridge is mid to late 19th century, and it's a single track railway bridge. There's a branch line that comes off the main line. There was a junction just by the Harrogate Ripon Road, and that goes up to Pateley Bridge, I believe, and beyond. So before Beeching got in, and closed all the branch lines, I reckon it would have been a lovely little trip, behind a nice little tank engine, puffing away, going along the side of the river. Oh. However, that is not Roman, and that's not what we're talking about. So, any questions while you're down this end?
Would the engineers, when they built the railway, come across any
Not that we're aware of. They wouldn't have bothered. Victorian navvies, their job was to drop in the railway bed, lay some sleepers across and shove some track down. When we arrived on site 3 weeks ago, I don't know if anyone's half hitched it now, but there was a metal bolt, you know, for fastening the chairs to the sleeper for the trucks to run in. Metal bolt about that long, and I said, oh, we've got a find, but they wouldn't let me put it in the finds tray. They decided it wasn't Roman enough. So if you'd like to have a look just down this edge, and then we'll go and rendezvous at the bottom trench when you've had a little glance.